Hey there! There are 3 things certain in Star Rail. Power creep, Jinyon getting a buff, and the anniversary patch being packed with content. With 3.2 right around the corner, there's a lot to talk about. Without further ado, here's everything happening in Honkai Star Rail in version 3.2. This is a complete roadmap covering the duration of 3.2 all the way to the beginning of 3.3, which will span the months of April and most of May. As always, dates will be for the US time zones. If any dates I mention aren't 100% confirmed, I'll mark them down with a red border in the video. Anyways, let's begin. Starting with the month of April. April 9th, version 3.2 goes live. A lot of events and new features will be available once 3.2 goes live, so I'm just going to speed run through everything we'll have access to at the start of the anniversary. Here is everything. 4 character banners and their respective like home banners. Updates to the non-feature 5-star character pool. Login bonus, free golden companion spirits, which we can use to redeem a limited 5-star character. Login bonus, 20 special Star Rail passes and 1,600 Stellar Jades, adding up to a total of 3 temples for just logging in. Star Rail World Anniversary events, which is very similar to last year's port game events. The first time top-up bonus will also reset. Bonus milestone rewards. The more you buy, the more free stuff you get. And finally, additional minor updates and quality of life improvements for the relic system. Next up, on the 11th, CO Slammers. A brand new minigame that looks both fun and engaging, blasting the chimeras around. On the 14th, Apocalyptic Shadow resets. On the 23rd, Planar Fissure 300% drop rates. On the 28th, Morning Starlights. This is the usual gameplay of defeating enemies with some gameplay gimmicks. Also on the 28th, Pure Fiction resets. And finally, on the 30th, version 3.2 Phase 2 goes live. In Part 2, our number 1 Elglaya hater and Dr. Ratio will be the feature banners. That is everything for April. Let's talk a bit into May. May 1st, monthly store resets. Other than redeeming the usual tickets in the store, don't forget to craft these new resin materials. On the 5th and 6th, 3.4 drip marketing. 3.4 drip marketing is definitely something to keep an eye on. Since 3.4 and 3.5 will essentially cover Q3, it's highly likely that the fake collab characters will appear in one of these 2 patches. There hasn't been any official confirmation yet, but the current rumors suggest that Mr. Protagonist will headline Part 1, with the fake collab characters arriving in Part 2. The most likely candidates for the collab are Saber and or Archer, but we'll just have to wait a bit more longer for some official announcements. Next, on the 9th, 3.3 Special Program. The first banner for 3.3 will feature Cypher, a Quantum Nihility character with an impressive average KDA of 27 kills, 7 deaths, and 7 assists. The character coming in Part 2 will be original character Do Not Steal. You might think you've seen her from somewhere, but that's probably just your imagination. Anyways, good luck if you're pulling for them. Also on the 9th, Realm of the Strange 300% drop rates. On the 12th, Memory of Chaos resets. On the 20th, version 3.3 goes live. Finally, let's recap everything quickly. Starting with April. On the 9th, version 3.2 goes live. On the 11th, CO Slammers events. On the 14th, Apocalyptic Shadow resets. On the 23rd, Planar Fissure 300% drop rates. On the 28th, Morning Starlights events. Also on the 28th, Pure Fiction resets. On the 30th, version 3.2 Phase 2 goes live. Moving on to May. On the 1st, monthly store resets. On the 5th and the 6th, 3.4 drip marketing. On the 9th, 3.3 special program. Also on the 9th, Realm of the Strange 300% drop rates. On the 12th, Memory of Chaos resets. On the 20th, version 3.3 goes live. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Okay, bye.